So if you've ever scrolled through the financial news and just felt this massive wave of anxiety over all the complex terminology, well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're doing an explainer that has one clear, very focused goal. We're going to completely demystify ETFs for beginners. We are totally bypassing all that intimidating Wall Street jargon. Instead, we'll use everyday, completely relatable concepts to show you exactly how these powerful financial tools actually work. Let's just get right into it.
To start things off, I want you to just forget about Wall Street for a second. Forget about the stock market and forget about those glowing screens with the stressful red and green numbers. I want you to picture a really simple, everyday scenario. Imagine a trip to your local grocery store. Picture yourself walking through those automatic doors. You grab a shopping cart and you head straight over to the produce section. Now think about your process here. How do you actually buy your fruit? You know, when you're planning out your snacks for the week, what does that practically look like?
Okay, let's dive into this. Because usually there's one very common approach, right? Buying individually. You walk around the aisle, you pick up a single apple, you kind of examine it, put it in a bag. Then you got to go find a banana. Then you wander over to some other bin to hunt down an orange, and finally, you pick out a bunch of grapes. Honestly, it takes time. You have to evaluate every single item, bag them up, weigh them. It's a whole process. But what if, instead of doing all that extra work, you could just buy one single fruit basket that already contains all of those fruits, perfectly selected for you? I mean, think about the contrast here. You completely avoid the sheer hassle and time drain of picking out individual items, and you trade all that for the pure convenience of just grabbing a single, pre-made basket and heading straight to the checkout.
Now let's map this exact same scenario onto the financial world. Imagine you want to own a piece of the absolute biggest technology companies on the planet. To do it the quote-unquote individual fruit way, you'd have to go out into the market and buy one individual share of Apple. Okay, then you make another transaction for one share of Microsoft, then one share of Amazon, one of NVIDIA, and finally one share of Google. Look, for a beginner, this is completely overwhelming. It takes a ton of time to manage multiple trades, it can be incredibly expensive to buy full shares of all these massive tech giants individually, and most importantly, it's risky. I mean, if you put your money into just one or two of these companies, and they happen to have a bad year, your entire portfolio takes a direct hit.
But here is the really interesting part, our big aha moment. An ETF is simply your financial fruit basket. That's literally it. An exchange-traded fund, which is what the letters ETF actually stand for, is just a basket of investments that you can access with one single purchase. Instead of stressing yourself out trying to buy all those tech companies one by one, managing all these multiple trades, tracking a dozen different stocks, you just buy one ETF. And that single ETF already owns all of those companies inside of it. You buy the basket, and boom, you instantly get the apples, the bananas, and the grapes, or, well, in this case, the Apple, the Microsoft, and the Amazon. And this brilliantly illustrates the concept. Actually, think of it like a pizza. Buying one individual stock is exactly like getting one single slice of pizza. Sure, it's great, but it's just one slice. It's just one flavor. One ETF, on the other hand, is the entire pizza. You get a little bit of everything. Instead of relying on just one slice to fill you up, or, relying on just one single company to grow your hard-earned money, the ETF gives you the whole pie. It's a complete, well-rounded package delivered in one single box.
All right, let's look at a real-world anchor, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, also known as VOO. Now, I want you to just think about this number for a second. 500. This single number represents the sheer scale and power of what an ETF can actually do for you. When you look at that real-world example we just mentioned, that Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, it literally owns shares of about 500 of the absolute largest U.S. companies. So that includes those massive tech giants we discussed earlier, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and NVIDIA, right alongside hundreds of others across all sorts of different industries, all of them bundled together. This one number holds the absolute heavyweights of the entire economy.
So just think about the incredible efficiency of this setup for a minute. Instead of buying hundreds of stocks individually, I mean, can you even imagine researching 500 different companies, executing 500 separate trades, and trying to manage 500 different positions in your brokerage account? That sounds like a nightmare. Instead, you can simply buy one ETF. The power of executing a single transaction to get immediate exposure to hundreds of massive companies all at once is just staggering. It basically takes all the heavy lifting and the headache completely off your shoulders.
So the crucial point here is exactly why new investors absolutely love ETFs, and it really boils down to three specific benefits. First off, one purchase gives you many stocks. It is the ultimate time saver, right? Second, it presents way lower risk than buying just one company. Think about it. If one company out of 500 has a terrible day in the market, well, you still have 499 others to help balance things out. And third, it's incredibly easy for beginners. You definitely don't need to be a Wall Street financial expert reading charts all day to get started. You literally just grab the pre-made basket and you're instantly participating in the market.
To wrap things up, let's just look at this ultimate dictionary-style definition to really cement what we've learned today. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is a fund that holds many investments and trades on the stock market like a regular stock, making it an easy way to diversify your portfolio. And honestly, it really is that straightforward. It is your fruit basket, it is your whole pizza, and it's your key to unlocking the market without all the overwhelming stress. So now that you understand the mechanics of this brilliant tool, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Now that you know you can just buy the whole basket, what kind of company baskets might you want to explore for your own portfolio?